Hey everyone, Theron Taggart, strategy lead for Studio Red Design. Welcome to our first video series on clients we love. And I'm joined here today by the design lead, Alston. Thanks so much, Alston, for making the time. And with us, we have a client we love, Neva Ingalls. And with that, I'd like to hang it over to Alston and get started.
Yeah, thanks for being here. I found Neva in like the early 2000s when I was looking for a yoga teacher. So I was really lucky to find her in over like 10, 12, 15 years. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've known this amazing woman and she's taught me so much and I've just admired her growth and her practice. So Neva, can you introduce yourself and talk about your practice and what you do?
Well, thank you, first of all, for allowing me to the great honor of initiating this project and for being here today and being a part of it. So, yes, my name is Neva Ingalls, and I am a yoga educator, healer, artist, dancer. You know, it's very hard to describe what I am because it's always morphing. But I've been doing this for all of my adult life, starting around the age of 19, in terms of sharing knowledge and inspiration of how for people to understand themselves and express themselves through movement of various types. So,
Reminds me like with your company or name of inner domain. You really do dive into self and all the layers of what that entails. Um,
Absolutely.
how do you feel the pandemic, what we've all been going through this past year, has changed your practice in your world?
I don't know that it's changed it so much as it's refined it. Um, my inspiration and driving raison d'etre has always been to reach for and have a personal, tangible connection with what I would describe as sacred, what is the most beautiful, what is the most sublime,
Mhm.
what is the most eternal, what is the most true, what is the most beneficial and good for me and for humankind. That ideal.
Yeah.
And as a young person, I was fortunate to be able to be trained in ballet very seriously, and I loved it because it had that quality to it.
Mm.
You know,
Mm.
you wear the point shoes and you float above the earth. You know,
Sure, sure.
you're weightless, and there's always this, ethereal, beautiful clothes and the beautiful music that's so inspiring and uplifting, and the somewhat tragic stories. Um, the magical feeling of it and the costumes and being behind the stage and watching from the wings, and all of it was wonderful. But as I matured in young adulthood, and I started to see the shadow side
Mm.
of the entertainment business, which ballet is a part of, I became disillusioned, but I was still driven by that deeper seeking of wanting to be a part of something magical and beautiful. And that motivated me into studying Eastern philosophies. And I encountered a teacher from India. I was lucky also in that regard at a very young age when I was seeking consciously in my teens. And that embarked me on the spiritual journey of directly tapping into that experience inside. That was what I was told. The experience you're looking for is actually not out there. It looks like it is,
Yeah.
but it's not. You have to go inward. And then you can enjoy, for what it's worth, because it's always changing, the outside.
Yeah. Yeah, Neva, it's really interesting. I mean, it got me thinking a lot. I was in theater as well, and was very frequently seeking that kind of external approbation, that sense of community. Um, it got me thinking as you were talking. This time we've all been going through this pandemic, and kids have been sitting in front of computers for 12 months. We haven't seen friends and family. Things have changed for many of us around the world. What have you learned? I mean, have you kind of has there been any insight or growth or change to your thinking as you've gone through this 12 months of, my words, not yours, solitude?
It's caused me to understand even more how valuable it is to have an inner connection to something that sustains.
Yeah, yeah,
Because we don't have control of the external. And at any moment, we can always lose everything that we hold dear.
Very true.
yeah.
This is something that we learn in yoga it's easy to say, and usually we're not put to the test. We're not put to the test that often.
Hmm.
Someone dies, this has been an extreme situation of showing how everything you thought was a certain way can be switched very rapidly.
Okay, okay.
And to find balance within that situation, and to find hope within that situation, and to seek and really stand on the principles I've been studying and practicing all my life in a more tangible way that actually sustains, really, put to the test.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
I've encountered other moments in my life where I had, evolved through my practice to a certain point and felt like, wow, I've really mastered this.
You got it. Like,
And then the universe says, okay, we'll see how you handle this one.
yeah, yeah,
We'll take away everything that gave you security,
yeah.
everything that gave you approval, everything that gave you confidence. We'll just take it all away because you've mastered this now.
Sure.
And then I found out I hadn't mastered it, and it was a gift because then I had to, go deeper and really discover the tangible experience that sustains through anything. And it doesn't mean that it's easy to see suffering on the outside and to see loss on the outside and disappointment and all of that. It's not easy, but it gives one the energy to persevere and be inspired to create solutions.
Sure.
So,
Well, and just, it got me thinking, this learning process. I mean, we've all been treating this time very differently. I mean, I've been doing woodwork, I've learned quilting, have started making brooms. I know Alston has been making bread,
kombucha.
kombucha, kefir water, gardening. The thing I always wonder is, with the good news about vaccinations, with the good news about the incidence rates, recently going down, what's going to happen when maybe it's September, everybody's vaccinated, now we can go back to business as usual. How will your practice and you be changed? If you can answer that question now, on that day one when now I can give people a hug and now I can interact with people in person.
wow. Um, First of all, I want to bounce off what you said about how we're all managing, in terms of learning new things.
Hmm.
Because at the same time as I've been going in to find more inner sustenance, I've also had the time to expand my repertoire and learn. I was certified to be a Jyotishi, which is Ayurvedic astrology, which I wouldn't have had time to do. I've tapped into new communities of people internationally. My world. This is what's interesting about life. It's such a powerful energy, and it will always find a way to move and grow and express and learn, like a seed growing out of a rock. And you see a tree growing out of a rock or a flower growing out of a rock, and you realize the power of that impulse that inside of us drives us to want to be happy, to want to be fulfilled, is built in. It's built into nature. It's always evolving and adapting and finding new ways to express. And it's extremely, extremely powerful, even though it seems very soft or small, like water being able to wear down a boulder to a piece of sand over time. So that has also been forming and shaping, and I feel that in a sense coming out of this, I'm more expanded. than I was. And you would think, wow, we've been contracted.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's really surprising to hear you use that because I've everyone I'm talking to is saying my world's gone this way, and you're saying no. In fact, my world's gone this way.
Yeah.
That's a powerful message, Neva.
Well, it's again that idea that the path to the path in is the path out.
I love it. I love it.
So it's a switching of the dimensions in a
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, yeah. And the perspective. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like a mirror.
I love it.
Yeah, I fully I look to the forward to the future with hope. I think we're all going to appreciate our freedom and our connections so much more.
Yes.
The things we used to take for granted.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
true.
So
Well, thank you very much for your time today, Neva.
Yeah.
This has been fantastic. We hope others find it enjoyable and useful as well. To kind of quickly close, can you share with people how they can learn more about you and your practice? Where can they go? How can they connect with you, Neva?
sure. I have a wonderful new website actually that Alston, who I'm very honored and privileged to have be my design person, such a talented, magical, creative person, um, just built me a website, and it's my name, nevaingles.com, INGALLS. So there you can see all the different things that I offer. It's pretty big umbrella of private work, learning about your astrological chart, your dosha in terms of managing your health and wellness, different types of meditation techniques that help you to navigate the inner domain, find that jewel within, find that sustenance and inspiration within. And various types of classes from vinyasa yoga to the sacred spiral of dance. I still incorporate a lot of dance into my work. And
Oh,
I also do energy medicine, hands-on healing, which I look forward to getting back to as people feel comfortable being in close proximity with each other again.
Yes.
sure.
No, I just appreciate the world that you've opened up for me and sharing the depth and possibilities of oneself and connections with others. So I just feel like it's a real joy to know you and just appreciate this time.
That's what it's all about. It's about people and connections. And with that, we hope you have found us, connecting you to some new ideas, and we wish you well. Bye bye.
So much. Thank you. Namaste.